Alright, let's see if this is broadcasting. If it is, hello. We're going to do the Texas Chainsaw Museum. So we'll give a little run through that. And over there. Yes. What? It says it's scheduled. Good Lord. Excuse me. Allergies are just amazing, aren't they? Got my nose running, my eyes burning. I'm scared to take an allergy medicine that my man got me because that shit knocks everything out your ass, including your ass.
A young college student named Maria Flores is
Are you gonna play
seemingly
this through?
vanished without a trace.
I'm hoping to
She
make
was
this my
last seen
intro
near the
on my
town of
YouTube
Newton
channel.
more than 2 weeks ago, but with no physical evidence, the investigation has stalled. With few leads and even
You're
less
gonna do
hope,
something different.
Maria's younger sister Ana Flores and a group of her closest friends set out to find their missing loved one. But any grief or sadness caused by Maria's disappearance would pale in comparison to the agony and despair they would soon discover. What awaited this group of youths was a nightmare beyond belief. The events surrounding Maria's disappearance would be just one of the many bizarre crimes later known as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
All right. This is going to be very interesting. I haven't done the museum in a long time. But I figured, what the hell, do something different. Hey. Bro. Thought it'd be kind of cool. Oh, shit. I hope I did that right. No? I forgot how to check and see what your list is. Oh, it does right there. Oh, I forgot. Don't we have to do the code and shit? Maybe a walkthrough. I don't know what the family house looks like. It is rather interesting. Am I supposed to do that back here too? Okay. This is so crazy.
Possible titles. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre wasn't the first or even second title of the film. The first two working titles were Head Cheese and Leatherface. Head Cheese was the first working title of the film, though, for most of principal photography. Leatherface was the working title until late into production, when it was finally given the official title of The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Kim Hinkle and Tobe Hooper intended for the title to be spelled Chainsaw, but once the press were sent information on the film, and when the original poster was produced, the spelling got twisted into Chainsaw. Friend of Leatherface. Since both of her parents were working on the film, 3-year-old Karina Nicolau was often on set and struck up a friendship with Leatherface actor Gunnar Hansen. He recalled their interactions. She had never liked my Leatherface mask. She was sitting with me one day while I waited for a shot setup. When Dottie, makeup artist Dorothy J. Pearl, came to put on my mask, it horrified Karina. As soon as it covered my face, she started screaming. I had Dottie pull it off. "See?" I said, "it's just me." She calmed down, but when I put the mask on again, she started screaming again. I realized she was too young to make the leap, to see my transformation from Gunnar to Leatherface and understand that I was still under the mask. So I made sure she never saw me in the mask after that, at least until the unfortunate meat hook scene. Ashtray. Actors are paid varying amounts for their work in film. For his voiceover in the opening monologue of the film, John Larroquette was paid with a single joint. Recent reports, however, suggest that his rate has gone up.
A joint. Good God.
Scaring a child. In the original movie shoot, the caterer, Sally Nicolau, was married to the location sound recordist, Ted Nicolau. The day they shot the meat hook scene, Sally brought their then 3-year-old daughter, Karina, to set when she was delivering lunch. Unfortunately, little Karina saw Terry McMinn, Pam, on the meat hook and began crying and screaming. Her father recalled, "I was in the living room while we were shooting that scene, and she came running in and skidded to a stop and just went completely white, started screaming and crying, and went running out of the house." Genuine bone furnishings. The bones used for props were real animal bones found at a veterinarian boneyard and a cattle pasture. Art director Robert Burns led the charge of designing most of the bone props, like furniture and light fixtures. Genuine bone furnishings. The dinner scene. The infamous dinner scene was a long, trying shoot. Plastic surgeon W.E. Barnes created the makeup for Grandpa, and it took nearly 10 hours to apply to actor John Dugan. A lot of pieces and parts went into creating Grandpa's look. But because they were down to their last set of makeup parts, the crew had to shoot every scene involving Grandpa all in one day. The grueling shoot was one of the hottest days of the production, with temperatures over 100 degrees. The set windows were blacked out with black plastic in a house filled with cameras and lights that reached as high as 120 degrees inside. Because of the extreme heat on set, the food at the dinner table started to rot. The smell on set was ghastly for the entire cast and crew. All of the bones on the set were real, and combined with the lights that made them burn, released an unbearable smell. The combination of the stench with the extreme heat made a lot of the crew sick, and they'd take frequent trips outside to throw up. In the end, the brutal set brought a real rawness to the film. The shoot in total lasted nearly 32 hours for some of the crew. Skin. The practical effects of Leatherface's skin mask proved a difficult challenge for Bob Burns, the art director for the film. Mary Church, who had multiple responsibilities on the original film, including continuity and stunt coordination, noted that Bob spent weeks trying to come up with just homemade varieties of stuff that sort of looked like dried skin. I remember him being concerned about expression, or not being able to do expression, and that there probably needed to be other expressions maybe on the face.
So I think because I've already did this, that it ain't gonna let me do nothing. Because the house was unlocked. I wonder if I have to reset it. It's a little bit different, not much. That's not everything. It's cool just to walk through here. Keep acting up, taking pictures. So I'm not gonna put this as my intro video because it didn't turn out the way I thought it would. So there we go. Alright, I think I'm just gonna go play regular.